Hello, everybody. Welcome to my Shukriya Zindagi channel. Today we have a very eminent guest here with us. His name is Dr. Sethi. He hails from Hyderabad, and he's a top endocrinologist in the city of Hyderabad and in our country, India, and also very renowned in the whole world. So, Dr. Sethi, tell me a little bit about your journey. What made you choose to choose endocrinology as your favorite subject?
Well, only in English, or we have mix of Hindi and English?
Mix.
You are from Bombay, not to speak hate English. See, it's like for love in first sight. I used to like endocrinology right in MBBS.
Okay.
I may not have known any chapter, but I knew endocrinology right from physiology days. And my professor, Dr. Gumadi Joseph, he asked me a question in my final exam, what is who says animal? And those things were something I could remember. He said, draw me the structure of insulin.
Oh.
I drew 51 amino acid, double bond between this and that, and double single bond in the first agent. I mean, like, it was love at first sight sort of thing. Like me and Vandana, by the way.
Yeah. That is so beautiful that you fell in love with the endocrinology, but you got the subject of your choice and you could pursue it, and you're doing a great service to the world by becoming an endocrinologist. So tell me one
No,
thing.
I'll tell you what happened when we were doing this. We were discouraged because at that time very few endocrinologists were there. People used to think that I'm intelligent. Actually, I'm not. So they say, why don't you take cardio? Why don't you take this? But I said, I have to do endocrinology. I will do endocrinology.
Wow. So I could not do cardiology. I fell in love with cardiology when I was in second MBBS, when my father had a heart attack. And that time I had taken a promise that I will become a cardiologist, but I could not become.
Okay.
You want to know why? Because I limited my...
I was lucky.
Huh?
I was lucky that I could become what I wanted to.
No, you had the belief in yourself and you went through the belief and you didn't limit yourself. For me, I limited myself when I got married. And even before that, it was not in my marriage. I had just chosen a partner in my life and I decided to take pathology that time, And the reason I took pathology was that, my God, if my husband is in clinical line, I will be also in clinical line. Then my children will suffer, my family will suffer. So these are some limitations which women take on themselves, which is not true actually. And if I feel now, if I would have taken some help from my parents, I wouldn't be a pathologist. I rephrase my life today as a pathologist. I had got much more time with my kids and with my family. So I'm okay with it. I have made my decision come true. But I want to know from you that what has been your journey? When you were a little boy, what did you want to do in your life? What you wanted to become? Only endocrinology, or before that, much
This
before
question
that?
was before that. See, I chose endocrinology by choice, and that was in 1983. Before that, what do you people know? Nobody knows anything. So we have to have some choice of subjects in class 9 at that time, even high secondary. So we have to choose science or maths.
Yeah.
So funny, Kaji, you would be surprised. All my friends took maths, so I also took maths. After 5 days, my mother asked me, what are you doing? I said, trigonometry. I said, what is trigonometry? I said, I chose maths. She said, why? Why did you choose maths? We all wanted you to be a doctor. So after 5 days, I changed my books to biology.
Wow. What a change of destiny.
So those days, you know what it was? I will tell you, it was 1973. So go to the principal and say, so what is there 5 days? No, you return the books and take the biology books.
That is the most hilarious story I've ever heard, which made your destiny. Yeah,
it is the truth. My other friend also asked me this story. I told him that it was my mother's desire. She sort of close to having a fit. She said, you took maths. And then so my principal was Hussein. He was a very nice person. So he said, it's okay. The boy didn't discuss with you. So my father came and he said, no, it's all right. 5 days is not a big problem. He'll do biology.
Okay. That's wonderful. That's really nice to hear that you could achieve what you wanted to do. Now, tell me one thing, for being a doctor, what is the most important quality that you must have, and what is that in you which makes you such a lovely, compassionate doctor? I meet patients all the time coming from you, and I always ask them, and I know that quality which you have, but I want to hear it from you. What is that one thing which you have which attracts maximum patients to you?
No, it's not. It's nothing. See, I feel that God is partial.
You're very
I
modest.
feel that God is partial, and they say, "How do you know?" I said, "He's partial to me." There are so many endocrinologists in the city, and touch wood, and with God's grace, all of them have got a name for themselves. In such intelligent, intellectual audience, I am accepted by patients. That means it's God's grace. I am a simpleton compared to your husband. I know half of endocrinology, maybe less than that. But I feel that we should be sincere, we should be hardworking, we should be compassionate. Everything else, Alkaji, is secondary. By
Absolutely.
which I mean everything else. Our this thing is to care. And this came during COVID days. We had heated arguments with people. As to people said, you're going to the hospital, where's the need?
Yeah.
You are after money. So we told them that if a soldier of Indian Army doesn't go to border when there's war, then what for he joined the Indian Army?
Correct.
Doctor's job is to provide care to people. And
Wonderful.
this is the time that I am not going to the war front, but I have to take care of my patients. And
Wonderful.
most of us also, including you and Manojji and everybody else, also took to telemedicine in a big way, not face-to-face interviews like that. The patients are sending SOS mails and just reply to them. So the economic considerations were secondary. It was more to reach out and sort of keep in touch when you cannot physically meet people. So I think sincerity and the need to accept things that you don't know are very important. I read a story, and stories modulate your life.
Yes.
I read a story when I was in PJ Chandigarh about a person whose child was diagnosed to have a movement disorder, which was later cured by the stereotactic surgery, and her child was the first child to ever have that kind of a surgery. You
Okay.
know what the mother wrote in the end?
Mm.
That was very enlightening. She wrote, I am a very good cook, but I don't know Italian, Lebanese, and Greek dishes. Similarly, I don't expect my doctors to know everything. If only my doctors had told that your child is having some problem which I don't know, rather than saying she's having a psychiatric problem, ignore her, I would have been much, much happier. And I had 5 days later a leading professor in electrophysiology by name R.P. Sappu. So while doing ward rounds, one of the patients fell down suddenly. He was having bicuspid aortic valve and aortic stenosis.
Okay.
So I asked, sir, why did the patient fall? And the patient got up also. You know what the great man told me? He said, I don't know. So I thought, if the book tells like that, and if the great man who is the electrophysiologist of that time greatest has the courage to say, I don't know, who am I? Why can't I admit that I don't know? So
Fantastic.
we tell this to people, if you don't know, we tell them that I don't know this. And in the institute that I studied, PJ Chandigarh, we were encouraged to know our limitations. So if I had a problem, I'll just go next door and say, can you just come and see this child, this fellow? I don't think he has anything. Then say, Are Lalu, you admitted him. With hepatomegaly, he doesn't have hepatocellular carcinoma. He has congestive heart failure. What is wrong? So if you don't know, you learn. And then similarly, we were also sometimes, one up when somebody says, "Yeah, nephrotic syndrome आके देख लो." We used to say, "अरे बेवकूफ, ये तो mixed edema में है, इसको यहाँ भेज दे." So this kind of healthy discussion used to occur, but that taught us that if you don't know, ask. One day you will be down, second day you will be up, but collectively you learn. So in today's world, also, if there is a problem, and there are times when I just ring up Manoj, Krishna, or any other friend saying that I have this problem, boss, what should I do? And they tell me that, no, I think it's It's where we can also get, or they say that, did you do that? And then we are there. So I think we should not be shy of knowing our limitations,
Yes.
because, Alkaji, you and I both know our limitations. Why camouflage them? Because it's a question of somebody's life.
Yes.
If you don't know, tell him I don't know.
Yes.
And the second thing I've learned is that if you're really done a mistake, admit it in front of the patient.
Yes. I'm sorry.
You know
Yeah.
what happens? Then the patient, whatever else maybe he may think, will at least know that you're sincere.
वो जिंदगी भर
Like
आपका हो जाएगा, आपका हो जाएगा जिंदगी भर.
लेकिन चाहे वो जो गलती हो गई. Everybody does a mistake. भगवान थोड़ी ना आपके ऊपर सिंचे गलती करता है.
Yeah.
Only human beings. So I think sincerity and updating yourself. If you don't know something, reach out to someone. There's nothing. You shouldn't feel shy about knowledge. I think when we grow up, no, this is one bad thing we acquire. क्या सोचेंगे लोग? इसको ये भी नहीं पता. When we are a child, we don't. I think we should be a child when it comes to learning.
Yes.
We are continuously learning things, and anybody and everybody who teaches you is your teacher.
Absolutely.
So I think these are some of the things. Maybe it's a very roundabout way of answering your question, but this is what I felt.
So I also want to add that simplicity, the simple man that you are, and your humility, you're so down to earth, and the fact that you said that admitting your own mistake. I don't know how many men or how many doctors or how many people are ready to admit their mistakes. Forget about the profession. Even in personal life, people don't want to admit their mistakes. If you don't admit your mistake, how are you going to work on it? That's another question. So this is the three things you told me: humility, simplicity, and one more thing you said is believing in the divine grace of God. That's a great quality you have, Dr. Bipin, because mostly doctors, what they think is, मैंने ये किया, मैंने तुझे ठीक किया, I made you all right. But frankly speaking, what you said is so true, that without the grace of God, we cannot do anything. We cannot heal our patients, we cannot heal ourselves. And that grace of God is the most important thing in our lives. Now, I'm writing a book on happy couples, and Dr. Bipin has been helping me with some points. So last question I will be asking you is, what is it, that quality which makes a great family, a great partner, to have a great relationship with your spouse?
I think, my wife has taught me many things.
Yes.
I'll tell you one small story before I actually answer your question.
I love your stories. Yes.
One day in an era of judgment, I, not employed, I started working with a person, and my wife, Vandana, she told me that, ठीक है, in the sense that she was not quite happy with the way things were going. 4 or 5 years down the line, we did realize that that person actually left. So I came home and told her, I said, Vandana ji, you were right. And guess what did she say?
I told you,
She
no?
didn't say anything.
She didn't say anything.
No.
That's a good relationship.
What she said was the same thing that I told you. She said, did I say that? Did I warn you?
Wow.
Oh my God. But anyway, it's a problem. Only human beings make mistakes. Otherwise, I was in her position, I would told her, I told you earlier. And what did you do? And now you're coming to me after 4 years. But that is something which we realize. And second thing is, everybody goes through ups and downs. And if we know that someone loves you and somebody is cross with you and somebody uses the wrong word, don't please go by those words. Try to find out why that person said so. If every day Vandana is greeting me nicely and one fine day she actually never does that, if I also use some wrong word, she understands that there must be some lafda.
Okay.
Somewhere something must have happened, some patient must be sick and something. Relating to each other frankly. That this is what we did, and admitting mistakes. We are all imperfect, Alkaji.
Absolutely right.
And what is so wrong in saying that I'm imperfect?
Yeah.
You expose your imperfection. For the rest of the world, you are very camouflaged and you don't expose your imperfection. But it's your partner should know.
Yes.
You should tell it yourself rather than the partner realizing it through somebody else. So I think it's just openness and let me tell this to you. Vanda won't be very happy. When we got married very recently, I told her one thing which she remembers now. I said, चाहे जो भी हो जाए, हम एक साथ रहेंगे पूरी जिंदगी. It looks like a cliche filmy dialogue, but that has stood us through thick and thin.
Yes.
We said, come what may, You are such a beautiful lady. You are such a beautiful heart. Don't leave me. I'll be with you throughout. Ours was an arranged marriage. It was not, mind you, it was not a love marriage like yours and Manoj's. I said, नहीं, आप बहुत अच्छी हैं. I love you a lot. And मतलब मेरे को छोड़ना मत, और चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए हम एक साथ रहेंगे, चाहे जो भी हो जाए, लड़ेंगे मरेंगे लेकिन एक साथ रहेंगे. That commitment is important.
So the
And the space.
Yes.
And the space. You know what happened once? One patient asked that in the early days of our practice, we worked for donkey's hours and returned home late. So one of the patient asked Vanna and saying that कि आपके husband इतनी देर से आते हैं, आपको कुछ मतलब you don't worry. She said, आपको क्या problem है? मुझे तो कोई problem नहीं. I know what he is doing, and we are quite happy about it. So I think that trust is very important. It's very, very important. And I also feel that when we are sharing something which might be an argument, which might be a difference, it should be in private. Even though you are a good friend of mine, Manoj is a good friend of mine, four of us sitting together, if I start fighting with Vanna, it's not good. It embarrasses people, doesn't create solutions, it creates more problems. If I have to do that, I just take her aside and say that, आज ये एक गड़बड़ हो गई. I keep telling her many times. I tell her कि आज मैं अच्छा आज क्या कर देता? What did you do today? So I tell her, अरे नहीं, you know what was, so somebody wanted money, I gave it. फिर दे दिए, चलो कोई बात नहीं, forget about it. So it's just that openness is very important. And she is such a sweet lady. Even if she's spending 5 rupees, she'll ring me up saying कि मैं ना 5 रुपए गोलगप्पा खाने में हाय 5 रुपए का बताने की क्या जरूरत है? But that's the openness. And very possessive about each other. I think one thing is that you try to find out good things about a person.
Yes.
Overlook, be blind to all the negative things, and never pass a negative comment about your partner. At least in public, you can tell in private that, you know, this is something which hurt me. So the partner will correct. They will correct. And if you're wanting somebody to change for yourself, be ready for the change also.
Yes.
Don't go on changing people that नहीं तुम ऐसे करो, मेरे को ऐसा लगता है, तुम मुझे सलवार में अच्छी लगती हो, तुम्हें साड़ी में अच्छी लगती है. तो वो if she says कि नहीं तुम मुझे बेरमुडा तुम्हें अच्छे लगते हो, तो क्या करोगे? तुम पहनोगे? पहनना चाहिए. You should be ready to it's a give and take kind of a thing. So I think happy couples are happy because they realize that they are lucky enough. Again, I invoke the divinity that God has brought something in their lives. People tell me you can't cook. तेरे को स्टोव का नहीं ऑन करना आता है, तेरे को I can't switch on the television, I can't switch on the AC. So one day somebody commented to her, and then when we met, I said he knew that कि एक लल्लू को पैदा किया है, किसी अच्छे को साथ रख दो, तो he married me to one, finished. So you have taken care of all my inadequacies. So the source of happiness, joy, sharing, and caring, I think it's important.
Lovely.
That keeps people going. The relationship is not is always there. You have to nurture it. It's like a plant behind you. You can't say कि नहीं मैंने इतना बड़ा इसको कर दिया, मैं इसको पानी नहीं दूंगी, खाद नहीं दूंगी, वो मर जाएगा. All relationships require some kind of constant nurturing. We are all kids, you know, in the heart. We need to be told that, hey, I love you, I need you. A little peck on the cheek, a little peck on the forehead. Not just on special occasions. That is the occasion. Whenever we do it, that is the occasion. So I think I'm not very good in English, so you may not like all this, and you can edit it to your heart's content.
No, I love it. I love what you're saying. It resonates completely with me. In fact, there was one man who was just talking to me on the phone, and he said that I'm not getting out of time with my wife because she's sitting in her room doing Zoom, and I'm sitting in my room and I'm doing Zoom meetings. So I said, in between the Zoom meetings, you go and kiss her on her forehead. She can come and kiss you on your forehead or on your cheek or wherever, whatever you want to do. I mean, doesn't matter if you don't get quantity time, but you can make your own quality time. I completely resonate with you, Bipin.
I think there is ये जो God may bring two people together, circumstances may bring two people together, but for staying together, these two people have to make a lot of efforts. And things change. Things change, circumstances become adverse also. Yes. But the commitment of the couple, in this case, you're talking about family, should remain. And this does not depend on anything. doesn't depend on the kids you have, it doesn't depend on the money you have, it doesn't depend upon your whatever extra attributes, it just depends on two hearts that we need to stay connected.
Absolutely.
That is what drives a relationship, nothing else.
Nothing else.
I'm happy you to give that example and that resonates with me. It's not about giving somebody a ring. Maybe that person, as you said, appreciates your pet. The
Yeah,
costliest ring is not going to get you there. If you send a surprise gift or something, it makes no difference. But I think it's, and of course, to be very fair to her, she has put more efforts. She has put more efforts, and I think she has, I can't say molded, she's done everything that it requires for a person to be with someone. Not that I was running away or this one, but she has molded so many things. And I proud, and I tell people, many people who are who say that, why do you look stress free? I said, everybody should have a wife like mine. But I said, everybody's not that lucky.
that's a great message, Dr. Bipin. So what I'm remembering right now is there was this couple who came to me when Radha and her husband, they were in their 70s. Just about a week back, they were visiting my clinic. And because they're great friends of mine, she was complaining about him and he was complaining about her. And she said, "Meri baat nahi sunte." He said, "No, meri baat nahi sunti." And at the end of it, Subhash, he looked at Radha and he said that, "Jo bhi hai, tu sabse achhi hai." So that was so beautiful, I loved it, 71 years of couple and living together for more than 50 years, and that's what is beautiful in a couple's relationship. If we learn to live with each other, we learn to love with each other. I don't know, it's not necessary to say I love you to your wife or to your spouse. I don't think my husband has ever told those sentences to me, but I know that my husband cares, and that's what is most important. Yeah.
There is body language, there is that, and Manoj is very good at that aankhon se aankhon mein kind of
The language
communication.
of the eyes. Yes, I have a chapter about the speaking eyes, and that's my husband is
Yeah.
very good at that. And so are you, Bipin. You also have a language in your eyes. You speak through your eyes. And I think today, when we are wearing the mask now, all the patients, when you're looking into the eyes, I'm learning to learn the language of the eyes because people are not
I see.
showing their smiles, people are showing their eyes, and the eyes are so beautiful.
Yes.
When I ask a
Yes.
question and I get tears in their eyes, I know that something is, transforming inside them. Something is happening to them.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that was lovely listening to you, Dr. Bipin, and great learning for our youth. I'm not asking you to give a separate message because you told a lot
No, no.
throughout whatever you told.
I have this one last message for you.
Yes,
Respect woman.
yes,
Respect woman.
yes,
Don't ever hit a woman, either
yes.
physically or mentally. If you do that, God will not forgive.
Absolutely right, sir.
So it is something which I owe everything that I have to my wife, to my mother.
Yes.
They have been the molding forces in my life. And my father taught me. And when we are kids, sometimes we fight with each other. And then I think I must have hit my sister once. So that was the only time he slapped me in my life. He said,
Wow. Yeah.
औरतों को हाथ नहीं उठाने का. Then I learned. The second thing I want to tell people is try to be of a nature that you appreciate any gift that is given to you, because the person who has given you the gift need not have given you one. So these two things I want to tell: respect woman, and if somebody gets you a gift, respect that gift because the person thought you worthy enough. If you look at a mosquito net and you look at a mosquito, in this entire world, our existence is smaller than that of the mosquito in the net.
Bilkul.
What is the big crowd? What is the big pride? Who are we? And yet somebody thought कि इस मच्छर को gift दे दें, and that person was great. If you tell that कि क्या देता, then you are the one who is an idiot.
Lovely.
So this also I have learned, and I think I won't bore you longer than this. Take care,
No, this is
and
not
thanks for
boring. I love your message.
considering
I want to say,
worthy of
Dr. Bipin, what
of
I learned from you is that
your
very
interview, and you can edit it to whichever this thing is. I'm not as good looking as you are, and this camera somewhere, because whenever you or Manoj say anything, it becomes an order. So I'm sitting in my clinic and talking to you.
Thank you for giving me your time, Dr. Bipin. I just want to say one last thing for Dr. Bipin. The way you live your life, the way you live your life in your clinic, the same way he lives his life at home and everywhere else. So he's a simple, very simple and very soft-hearted person in his daily life, in his personal life and his professional life. And that is what attracts all the world to him. Thank you so much, Dr. Bipin, for this great message and this great meeting. I will get in touch with you again, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, bye-bye. And thank you for the kind words, which I don't deserve actually. Thanks.
You deserve it.